Okay, so y'all are my people who have been just with me in this whole project back from when the name was giving and not giving a huge shit all the way now to where the title of this beautiful book is The Invitation Beyond. Reclaiming healthy masculinity, master the challenges of freedom, happiness, and intimacy. Like, what a beautiful shift. And there's a whole story around that. But today is the story of the shift of the book title. And the thing about the cover and design and doing all that is like that is there's a lot of things I do really really well in the world. Translating what I want to put out into the world, into images, into graphics, into some representation that people are going to respond to. I just know that there's people who are like wildly talented at that, and I love that so much. And I, like it's something I can do, but like it's not my sweet spot. And I love the place of being connected to people who like we're each in our sweet spots. So, but that doesn't always work out. So I have a whole team of cover designers, and one of the things that we need professional photos. So I'm in Chicago, and I'm like, okay, I need photos, and I need photos fast. And so I reach out to the beautiful story of my van of someone, David Glossberg, just a friend from childhood, babysat my van while I wandered off to the Canary Islands in the Netherlands on a beautiful adventure. And I said, David, like I need a professional, like I need a photographer, I need some photos for the cover. And he's like, oh, I can take pictures. And so we have this whole like beautiful day of this like adventure of him trying to find his lenses in his house, and he can't find them. And then, just this like, sort of comedic adventure. And we end up going out and taking a bunch of pictures, and that are good, that are really good. And it was like, good enough to use for the cover. And, but like my shirt wasn't quite, it was a little bit wrinkled, and like it didn't have everything quite right. And he's like such super nice guy. That's not his thing of like taking portrait photos for a cover of a book. And so we're kind of like running around like, what do we want? What kind of photos do I want? And, so there's all these different poses and this, and that, and the other thing. And, just like goofing around with that for a long time. And then, my team, which is just beautiful, they aren't from the United States. I think Georgie is from, God, I don't want to get it wrong, but anyway, not here. and then his I'm spacing his name, but his partner, also not from here. And so like, how do I translate a book about masculinity, about authenticity, about the sincerity and the purpose of this book to these guys, and then what is that? How does that translate into a cover design of a book? So then it was like this. So there's that whole thing, and they were beautiful and like offered some covers, and then I started to get really literal of like, well, I want to work with couples and I want to work with men, and so like let's put them on the cover, and then I want it to be like sunrise, and then it ended up looking a lot more like my old cover, and so many of you have seen that. And then my friend Dawn and I started wandering around and looking at books, like looking in bookstores, and we were looking at the books of like, what are the things that we want to pick up, what are the titles that really resonate, and then what are the subtitles, like we were looking at the titles, and we're looking at the noticing that like, okay, the image is really important, and then the title is important, and the subtitle makes you want to like turn the book over and be like, oh, what is this, like what is this about? And so then we were talking about like what wants to be on the cover, and in the meantime, like we're going down the road of working with Georgie and his friend, and like they are helping get this cover going, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. The Photoshop piece is a tough thing for me. Like there's a thing about authenticity that is really, really important for me. So some of the covers like made me look like really tan, or like it just didn't look right, and the background is Photoshopped, and it's just like, okay, that's what you do in the cover, but like at least I'm not Photoshopped, and because it's just there's not authenticity in there. So I put it out a bunch of different times, a bunch of different covers, did some surveys. You all responded beautifully. Like, I'm so honored how y'all responded to all of that. and we're like getting closer to the deadline, and we're going through versions and iterations, and little colors are changing and little things are changing here and there and the other thing. And, I only have so many revisions. And so it got down to 2. And many of you saw the 2. And I sent them out. I sent it out like a final survey of like, I think I know which one I'm going to choose, but just sent it out because I wanted to get feedback. And I got some really interesting feedback. Like, many of you responded with some really honest, like, I like the one from before, or these aren't quite resonating, and with different levels of like, hey, like that tension place of like, what if I don't like it? How do I tell him? Can I be, like, how do I break it to to him at this point, kind of thing. And my dear friend Rachel, who designed my website, and she just is doing some beautiful work, is launching a whole new project for women and products. And I'll send you information about that, because it's really beautiful stuff. She just wrote this beautiful email, again, that some of you have seen, that was just really direct and said, it's not capturing what I think this book captures, and I think what you want to capture. And just like in talking with her, like, it was really courageous of her. She almost didn't send it. And she sent it, and she mocked up the cover that is now the cover, and just that I think this conveys the strength and the power and the sincerity and the authenticity and the seriousness of this topic, of this book, of your work, of your heart, of who you are in the world. And it felt, and as soon, I was sitting at dinner with my mom, and I opened the email, and I saw it, and I started laughing, because I was like, oh my God, that's it. Like, that's the cover. She got it. And my mom was like, what are you laughing about? And I was like, oh my God, like 6 weeks of going back and forth, and trying to find it. And we're like, the finish line is in sight. And bam, this whole new opportunity, this whole new thing comes. It's going to just shift the direction entirely. I'm past the place where I have any more revisions left. And so I'm like, okay, well, now what do I do? And Rachel was just so kind and generous in creating a Photoshop file, like the whole, professional cover thing with the new cover. And I handed that off to Georgie and his team, and they made a couple different shifts, and then there we go, there we have it. And I think there's something really significant in here about, it's just like amazing adventure. I'll tell the story of the title of the title of the book at some point too. But I've been in this place about healthy masculinity and what that is, and like holding a space. And Rachel, to some extent, was like, my friend, like, it's time to claim this and step in. And the seriousness of the book, and the look on the cover is like really stepping into this. And there's moments where I'm just like, I don't know, like, that seems like a bold claim. But I think, so that dance will continue. But one of the really big things I think about at least being a healthy Morgan and a healthy human is to listen to the people in your life, and is to be willing to make changes and make shifts, and to really listen to inner guidance, and be in a place where when something comes, even at the last minute, that's inconvenient and causes some oh my God, to be open to shifting. And to not need it to be the way that I thought it was. In fact, I quite love it that there's an openness to the suggestions of others. It feels strong. It feels beautiful. It feels, after she sent the cover, I really did this check of inside myself of like, is that it? And was able to be in this place where I'm like, God, I'm so grateful for my friends and their talent and their ability, and when they bring it forward and they step forward with courage and care and love. And just what a beautiful journey. Like, what a beautiful journey. And I think in many ways that ability to listen, to be humble, to be flexible and rely on my community. I think that's something really, really special. So thank you for listening. What a beautiful, incredible process this has been. and will continue to be, because this is it. Like, this is the project, this is the work, this is exactly the invitation beyond. It's the invitation into our hearts, into our beautiful expression of for Rachel to step into that courageous moment and send that email knowing that it was going to create this wave of inconvenience in my life. Like, that to me is so golden. Like, that's love. Like, that's care. That's friendship. That's the world I want to live in, where we each do that for each other. We each do that for each other, that she knows that I will receive that with the grace and the love and the care, and not be angry or mad or hurt or like that's it. So blessings, Rachel, thank you. David, thank you. Other David, thank you. So many thank yous and gratitude. Thank you for being part of this team. Thank you for watching, and blessings. The invitation beyond is on its way.